make them in handy. So for those of you that didn't know, if you didn't see my post, I was in a little car wreck. Got very, very lucky, thankfully on a big truck, and two little cars hit me. Basically I was turning on a green light, doing my thing, heading over to a client, and some asshole kid who was probably drunk ran a light, rear-ended a car, destroyed it. That car hit another car, and then they both hit me. I was okay, but the guy that got rear-ended initially was bleeding from his head pretty badly, and didn't really know what to do in that type of situation, and went out of his car, which is not something you want to do in a trauma type situation. You want to hold still because of the spine. The spine could have been affected by the crash, but the guy got out and he was bleeding. One of the things that I always keep in my vehicle is a first care bandage and a tourniquet. I always keep that in my vehicle because of situations like this, because you never know what you might roll up into, and I'm always at the range, so I always like to have medical gear with me. So I ran up to the guy, bandaged him up real quick. Took about a minute or so. If you know how to use these bandages, it's really, really easy to use. But anyways, moral of the story, guys, is always carry medical gear on. Especially in your vehicle. Takes no effort. Literally throw it into your car and that's it. You don't have to have it in the medical pouch. Just literally put it on the side somewhere. These things are sealable, and they last forever. I think it's like 5-year time span or something like that. So definitely keep medical gear on you. I have 2 bandages here. I just ordered these actually because I used one of mine. So I have a 4-inch and a 6-inch bandage. 6 inches obviously is always better, more surface area for bigger wounds or whatever, but 4 inches more compact, especially if you want to keep it in your little trauma kit for your belt. Just something more compact, more easy to use. But a full size, obviously, if it's in your car, just throw it in. Literally, my bandage, I keep it on the little compartment on the door. Not all cars have that, but mine does. That's where I keep it. That's where I keep a tourniquet. And that's what I recommend doing, It literally takes no effort. Costs a few bucks. I believe this is $10. Tourniquet is $30. So make that effort. Go out there and get that gear. With that being said, you need to train, right? So it's not really worth anything to have all this gear and having no idea how to use it. Can I tell you how many courses that I've taught or courses that we've had that were a trauma care course, and all these people had these bandages and tourniquets and so on, and they had no idea how to put them on. Just so you know, this tourniquet has a little hooking device in it, so you go through it and then pull back, so it's not spinning around your arm as you're trying to hold the bandage. A lot of people don't know that, so they try to just string their bandage through and hope that it stays. Another thing is this has a sleeve for self-application. Another thing that a lot of people don't know. So be smart about these things, guys, and learn how to use them. Take a course. You can learn how to use this in about 15 minutes, but you want to learn when and how and why and so on. I recommend taking at least like a 1-day DCCC Stop the Bleed course. There are a lot of them are being taught for free. So take it. We've offered a couple of those courses as well. It's just not really my specialty. I have another instructor there, bring for that. But guys, take the training and learn how to actually use these. Like I said, I've encountered so many people that have zero idea how to put on a bandage properly. Okay, and by the way, you don't have to have this specific bandage. A triangle bandage and some gauze work great as well. But once again, you gotta have someone plant that seed in your mind. You gotta go take a class and learn how to use it. Obviously, another thing that's very, very big is a tourniquet. I keep one in my truck with me all the time. North American Rescue is the standard, but I know Recon Medical makes some pretty good stuff as well. These are great. Cat tourniquet. There's also some ratchet tourniquets out there. Don't use a ratchet tourniquet. It's from what we've seen in our class and our courses, they don't really work. But cat tourniquet is kind of the worldwide standard nowadays. So learn how to use it. Same thing. It doesn't take a lot of training. There's only 4 places you put a cat tourniquet. Here, here, and high up on the thighs. That's it. That's only the 4 places that you put a tourniquet on. And but you need to know how to put it on, right? It's not worth it if you don't know how to put it on. You're struggling and the wrong thing is closed. That's what's gonna happen under stress. So you gotta train it. You gotta train on putting it on yourself, right, and left side, and hands and legs, and so on. And you gotta train on putting it on someone else. So know that. I'm not gonna open up this pouch right now. There's some wound packing material in here, some quick clot. Also a good idea to keep with you. It's one of the things I'm actually gonna add to my car EDC as well, because just in case I was like thinking about it, I don't have it in my car. Maybe it's a good idea to get it. So definitely, guys, think about kind of the basics. Always a good idea to have a knife on you. You never know when you need to cut yourself out of something or cut someone else out of something, but all those things are a good idea to have. So these situations can be tricky, right? You run into this wreck, someone ran into you, it might be light, it might be hard. You really got to think through what you're going to do. And what do I mean by this? Because of spinal trauma, right? If you're not hurt at all, like I was completely fine. My car literally got hit in the front and the back, and I just slid. And I was fine. I knew I was fine. My head barely even moved. So I knew I was fine, but the people that ran into me were not fine. So I ran out real quick and checked what's going on with them and told them not to move. The guy that I put a bandage on, I didn't get to him in time, but it's always not a good idea. Well, not always, but most of the time, and most paramedics will tell you, it's not a good idea to move after you've been in a car accident, especially a hard car accident, because you may have some spinal trauma and you don't want to cause any potential worse things to happen to you, the spinal cord to be affected and so on. So obviously, if you can render help, think about how to render help, and first of all, think about your safety first, right? You can't render help if you catch on fire or if another car hits you and so on. So think about these things. Luckily, it was 5 a.m. There was no traffic, just these 3 people that hit my car. But you gotta think about these things and how to handle this type of situation. And once again, where does that go? That all goes back to training. That's my training kicking in, knowing what to do, and just acting, right? I may post a video I recorded while I was there as well at a later point, but you gotta think about what you're gonna do in this type of situation. You gotta have some training and background to know how to handle it, because something that you may do because you think it's the right thing to do may actually cause people to get hurt worse. So you gotta understand how to handle these types of situations. You gotta train, guys. You gotta know what questions to ask, what to tell people, what to do, and so on and so forth. And it was 100% of my training, probably my recent training with John Wayne Taylor, that kicked in the best, checking in people, telling them, are you okay? Calling 911, hey, you call 911, and so on. So you gotta think about training, guys. And this, we always go back to that, right? Doesn't matter if you have a high point or you have a t-shirt as your only means of medical care. If you have training, you'll be able to do the best with that. But if you don't have any training, it's not worth it. It's not worth it if you have a $3,000 Glock and $0 worth of training. You're just not going to shoot well. And I've seen those people in my courses, and they don't shoot well. Invest your time, guys, in training. Most of my time, most of my money is invested in my own training. Fitness training, jiu-jitsu, Krav Maga, firearms, whatever I can, whenever I can, I go train. Because in the end, that's what's going to count, not how fancy of gear you have. You see a lot of people having this med kit and that med kit and so on and so forth. And then it's not going to be worth anything if you don't know how to use the items. And people have a decompression needle and all kinds of stuff. It's like, you're just not going to be able to use these things. So guys, with that being said, like I said, there it is. First care bandage, actually an Israeli invention. Cool fact, Israeli army didn't use it after the US Army started using it. So cool thing, it comes in 6-inch and 4-inch bandage. Let me show you guys here, 4-inch, 6-inch. Both good to have. 4-inch fits a little bit better in your belt mounted kits. 6-inch, a little bit better for backpack carry or in your vehicle. Like I said, always carry one of these in your car. Especially any type of vehicle accident, you're gonna have shards of glass and debris and things like that. So you're gonna wanna have a bandage. And of course, we talked about this as well. Have a tourniquet. They save lives. Have a tourniquet. Always good. Good to have. There's many types of tourniquets. Cat tourniquet, ratchet tourniquet, soft T, and so on. Just use whatever is reputable and has been battle tested. That's what I can tell you. Otherwise, guys, like I said, train. If you don't train, all that gear is completely useless to you. So guys, go out there, take some training, take some medical training, understand how to deal with stress, understand how to what to do in that type of situation, a car accident, explosion, what have you. So, and that's it, guys. That's all I have for you today. We're gonna go live again probably later on this week with some other topics that I want to discuss, and combat pistol as well this weekend. It's gonna be a great course. We got some Krav Maga instructors coming to this course. I'm really excited about it. Some folks from Krav Maga Dallas, friends of mine. So I'm always excited to have Krav Maga people in my course because I can do a lot more in that class. In June we have combat pistol ground fighting, and in later June we have combat rifle. Otherwise we're gonna take a little break during the summer months. I'm going on vacation. Gotta get some rest and gotta get some R&R. But guys, that's it. That's all I have for you. Let's see if we have any questions. This on my duty, very good. You should, if you're a cop, you should 100% carry a tourniquet, and you should 100% carry a bandage. Wound packing is also good to have. Some type of hemostatic agent. Always good to have as well. Guys, you are much more likely to ever use this and this versus your firearm. So go out there, train, and learn how to use these things. And who knows, you may save someone's life one day. Guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day, have a great evening. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM.